Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a regular meeting of a panel of utility commissioners and staff of the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority held today, Wednesday, December 15th at 10 a.m. by remote teleconference. My name is Chairman Marissa Gillette, and I'm joined virtually today by my colleagues, the Vice Chairman Jack Bukowski and Commissioner Michael Karen. We have a regular calendar and a consent calendar in front of us today. For the first item on today's regular calendar, docket number 210806, annual review of the electric vehicle charging program year one, we will turn to authority staff, Mr. Jake Reinert, to present the decision for the panel's consideration, please.
Thanks, Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. In today's decision, the authority approves with modification various program design processes and documents proposed by the state's electric distribution companies, Eversource and United Illuminating, to jointly administer year one of the statewide electric vehicle charging program, which will be available to all customers and customer classes of the EDCs beginning on January 1st of 2022. This decision follows the authority's July 14th, 2021 decision in docket number 171203 RE04, establishing the 9-year EV charging program as part of PURA's Equitable Modern Grid proceeding. As authorized, the program will provide a combination of incentives for electric vehicle supply equipment and make-ready infrastructure, along with rate design offerings across 5 program areas. Today's decision represents the culmination of a months-long effort by the EDCs, PURA, and stakeholders with the primary goal of enabling a self-sustaining zero-emission vehicle market in the state through the following objectives. First, to support Connecticut's commitment to deploy up to 150,000 EVs in the state by 2025, and to reduce greenhouse gas emissions through the deployment of 500,000 EVs by 2030. Next, to facilitate the seamless integration of new and emerging EV technologies into the state's electric grid. And finally, to achieve an equitable transition to electrified transportation across all communities in Connecticut. The authority initiated this proceeding on August 11th of this year to review the EDC's compliance with the authority's July 14th decision. Stakeholders provided written comments proposing improvements to the program design documents on or before November 2nd, which were further discussed at a technical meeting held on November 4th. The authority then issued a proposed final decision on November 30th, received written exceptions on December 7th, and held oral arguments on December 10th. This decision, if adopted, would refine the program design to more fully support the authority's objectives and approve the final incentive structure for the first 3 years of the program. Specifically, today's decision would approve managed charging requirements for residential single-family customers, including a process for continuous improvement as lessons are learned and technology evolves. To equitably electrify transportation, the decision also directs the EDCs to leverage their expertise to support electric mobility solutions for underserved communities through technical assistance. Finally, today's decision approves various program implementation processes and directs the EDCs to provide comprehensive customer resources in order to ensure a successful program launch in January. If adopted, this decision would represent a crucial step in supporting the state's decarbonization goals and the authority's Equitable Modern Grid initiative. With that, staff recommends this decision for consideration by the commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reiner. Is there a motion?
I move adoption, Madam Chairman.
And second motion.
Thank you. The decision has been regularly moved and seconded. If there are no questions or comments, then I would ask Mr. Bumpin to please take your roll, please.
Chairman Gillette?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bukowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. We will turn to docket number 210918, call before you dig, proposed budget for 2022. Mr. Dan Nivison is with us from authority staff, please.
Good morning, commissioners. By application submitted to the authority pursuant to section 16-345-2D of the regulations of Connecticut state agencies, call before you dig requested approval by the authority of their proposed 2022 operating budget. CBOID proposed a 22 budget of $2,484,438, which represents an increase in 6.5% in operating expenses over the previous year's budget. The monthly mileage rate that is paid by member utility companies will remain at $4.30 per mile per month. This budget is essentially the same as last year's, except for increases in the previously approved contract with the vendor running the call center and a substantial increase in the public awareness budget. CBYD is proposing a 38% increase in its public awareness and education budget. These additional funds will be used to enhance their digital marketing campaign, specifically social media advertising. The authority is supportive of this effort, but wants to ensure that funds are spent effectively, targeting the proper audience, and measure whether this effort yields positive results. CBYD will be required to file a report in October of 2022 detailing the results of this campaign. We find that this proposed budget is sufficient and reasonable to allow CBYD to fulfill its mandated duties and responsibilities. In this decision, the authority approves the proposed budget as well as the proposed rates. And I recommend this decision to the panel.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I move adoption, Madam Chairman.
Second.
Thank you. The decision has been regularly moved and seconded. If there are no questions or comments, I'd ask Mr. Bumpin to please take the roll.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Pekoski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes.
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. We'll turn to the third item on the regular calendar, docket number 211129, the assessment of civil penalty against the Southern Connecticut Gas Company for pipeline safety violations. Mr. Nivison.
Okay. On June 7th, 2021, a commercial lawn mowing company was performing work at 500 Bick Drive in Milford. At approximately 8:56 a.m., lawn mowing equipment struck and damaged a Southern Connecticut gas meter set. The impact broke the regulator body from its base, creating a high-pressure gas leak. The gas ignited, injuring the operator of the lawnmower. On July 2nd, 2021, the individual injured in the incident passed away due to the injuries he sustained in the fire. The GPSU responded and performed an investigation of the incident and reviewed Southern Connecticut Gas response and follow-up actions after the incident. SCG failed to follow several federal and state reporting requirements relating to this incident. Title 49 of the Code of Federal Regulations 191.5A requires that at the earliest practical moment, but no later than 1 hour after confirmed discovery, each operator must give notice to the National Response Center of each incident as defined per 49 CFR 191.3. Responding SCG personnel observed fire damage to the building and learned that an individual had been sent to the hospital. SCG management was not notified of this incident by its field personnel and only learned of this incident when contacted by the GPSU several hours after discovery took place. SCG eventually notified the NRC at 1:24 p.m. over 3 hours after the discovery of the incident took place. SCG violated 49 CFR 191.5A by failing to provide the required notice to the NRC within the 1 hour. 49 CFR 191.9A requires that each operator submit to the Department of Transportation Form F7100.1, which is the PHMSA incident report, as soon as practicable, but no more than 30 days after detection of an incident that is required to be reported. SCG filed this report on July 14th, 2021, 37 days after the incident occurred. 49 CFR 191.9B requires that when additional relevant information is obtained after the incident report is submitted, the operator shall make supplemental reports. The initial report filed did not indicate that there was a fatality. SCG obtained information about the death of the injured individual sometime in July, yet failed to submit a revised report. In September, the GPSU learned of the fatality and contacted SCG, who only then filed a supplemental report several months after they should have. The regulations of Connecticut state agencies, section 16-16-3D1, requires that a utility shall notify the GPSU of any major accident that occurred in Connecticut as soon as possible, but no later than 1 hour after the occurrence or the gas company's discovery of the accident. In this instance, SCG made no such notification to the GPSU. For these violations of federal and state reporting requirements, SCG will be assessed a civil penalty of $25,000. In addition, SCG will be ordered to provide training to all appropriate personnel of their roles and responsibilities regarding reporting requirements in the company's emergency response plan. I recommend this decision to the panel.
Thank you, Mr. Nivison. Is there a motion?
I move adoption, Madam Chairman.
Second the motion.
Thank you. The decision has been moved and seconded. There are no questions or comments. I would
Just
ask you to-
very briefly, I just want to compliment the Pipeline Safety Unit for their investigation on this. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate that there was a fatality here. And it brings home, once again, we've talked about this many times, the importance of pipeline safety in the state of Connecticut. Our unit does an excellent job monitoring this, and it's tragic that we have to provide this type of fine, but a life was lost. And again, I compliment our unit for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. Could we please take the roll?
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bukowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes.
Thank you. The decision has been adopted. That concludes our regular calendar, so we will turn next to our consent calendar, on which there are 3 items. Is there a motion, please?
Madam Chairman, I move adoption of today's consent calendar, items 1 through 3.
I second it.
Thank you. The consent calendar has been regularly moved and seconded. I would call for a roll, please.
Chairman Gillette,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Bukowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Karen,
Yes.
Thank you. The consent calendar has been adopted. That brings us to the end of today's regular meeting agenda. We will adjourn and reconvene next Wednesday, December 22nd at 10 a.m. by remote teleconference. Thank you and have a great rest of the day.